Thanks to our great sponsors, Jack Burford Chevrolet, ExpressRoofing.net, Cumberland Valley National Bank, Sept, State Farm Insurance, Jerry Goble Agent, Luxury Pet Services, Equipment, Sales and Rentals, May Marketing, KYmedia.net, Real Life Community Church, Time Warner Cable, and Madison County Schools.
Welcome to the Coach John Clark Show.
Hi, I'm Samantha Burford with Madison County School Sports Television. We want you to watch the head coach John Clark Show of Madison Southern Eagles.
If you want to learn about these guys, tune in to Madison County School Sports Television. Let's go.
Welcome back to the Coach John Clark Show. I'm Samantha Burford. I am here with head coach John Clark, and we're at Cumberland Valley National Bank.
Feels good in the valley. Feels good to be in the valley
I kept waiting. I knew you were going to give us some kind of...
Feels good to be in the valley.
Yeah, I was banking on that. So.
Yeah, it is. It's good to be back. I like the setting in this room.
You do? You like it? We're in their conference room.
I do. I feel like I have stats on my phone here.
Yes.
I'm not like waiting
so you're more
for
at
a
a
call.
table.
Yeah. I like that. It feels more like a talk show.
Well, that's what we are, and we aim to please.
With our pumpkin spice lattes, very fallish.
Mine was still too hot, so I haven't drank mine yet, but we do want to thank you for bringing these to us.
Absolutely. That's because I'm late a lot, so I come bearing gifts today.
I wasn't going to say that. You were only just a couple minutes late, but we'll tie this into your word of the week. So you said you brought this to us because of your word of the week.
Our virtue of the week is charity this week, so we've really challenged the players to... the players define charity this week as doing something for others without ever respecting anything in return. And it doesn't have to be monetary or anything, but we're really setting a goal to our guys to do things. So like today, from practice yesterday to today, we talked about start of practice today. What are some things some people did? One of our guys on our team, Chris Wren, great kid, paid a student's library fees for him. A kid had $1 in library fees, and he paid his $1 library fees. But that's a big deal, just the willingness to do some things like that.
Because if you don't pay your library fees, you don't get to go to dances and different things
Tyler
like that.
Jackson helped a student whose books were knocked off their desk, got their books for him, just trying to really do something nice for somebody else without asking for anything in return. Absolutely.
Which, in today's society, we pretty much ask for everything in return. I mean,
Absolutely.
We want it all, and we want it all now. And it's like, if I do this for you, what are you going to do for me?
And so we're just really trying to focus on doing it for doing something good, not necessarily hoping to get anything in return out of it.
And not getting recognition out of it.
And one of the things we've talked about, guys are realizing is, and we talked about this a little beforehand, is when you do good things for other people, good things happen to you in return. Yeah. Like just happened to me this evening when I went and picked up my truck. Renfro Collision, they really were awesome with me, and they did some really good things for me for repairing my truck that I didn't expect. And so it's just
because I noticed you got your truck back today, and so that brought up the conversation.
That was really cool. Like I walked out there and I thought, that's awesome that they just they took care of something small to them, but it's a big deal to me.
Big deal to you. And you did something nice today for someone,
and you feel like it just kind of happens that way. It is.
It could be a football team movement.
It's funny. My wife and I have been talking about this last week. We're doing books on tape in the car sometimes, and we're doing this one called The Energy Bus right now. And it's really good, and it talked about, this chapter was about EI. EI is emotional intelligence. And how, like, for example, like if you're dog people, like a dog can sense, dogs sense if you're a good person. Like there's some people that your dog just don't like.
True.
And then there's some people that your dog love, that can run up to your dog and just wrestle with them and they don't even know them. Like dogs sense, it's basically like your heart, not your physical heart, but your actual heart, like your heart and soul. Research is showing it has a 10-foot diameter that you give off a aura, an energy field that is based on your emotions.
All right.
So if you are a positive person and you always think good things and do good things for people, we all know those people that are just always in a good mood and you love being around them. And when you're that way, the law of attraction leads to you attract what you send out. So if you're a positive person, positive people are going to gravitate towards you because they feel that energy from you.
I feel like you're that way.
I try to be that way.
I feel like you are, and a motivator.
I'm not always positive. I'd be a liar if I told you otherwise. But I try to. I'm a glass half full guy.
Okay.
To me, if I'm drinking this coffee and it's really good, I'm sitting there thinking, man, I got a whole nother half glass of this. I don't sit there and think, man, my glass is halfway gone. What am I going to do now?
I'm going to need more.
I'm a half full person about everything. I've been that way my whole life. I think that has a lot to do with the way my parents raised me. You can look at the negative side of what's going on in your life. You can look at all the issues you have, what you can't do well, or you can look at what you do well while working on the things you don't. So emotional intelligence. I didn't even know EI was a real thing until I started learning about it.
I think it's fantastic. Do you talk about these kind of things with your players?
We do. Now, we've not gotten into that detail. Actually, it's funny I mentioned that book, Energy Bus. The reason I do this is, we do our leadership character program in the off season, and every year I'm trying to add a new wrinkle. Something I'm going to do this year is I'm going to do a kind of a group study with some of the older guys on the team that are ready for it, where I'm actually putting together like a program over the importance of a positive attitude and how to develop a positive attitude as a leader versus being negative minded. I mean, we've all been there, done that. We've all worked for, been around people. It's that person like in the office that no matter what, all they do is complain.
And you don't ever want to be around them.
You find yourself trying to avoid them.
Yes.
Because you can be at an office Christmas party and it's the best thing ever and everybody's having a good time and the punch isn't good enough. Or look at what so-and-so's wearing. It's like always a negative thing.
Yes.
And then I've always found myself my whole life, in my experience, I love being around people that love life and are positive. And I found myself drawn to that. So I got to thinking about that this fall actually, because this summer, really talked to our kids about this off season. The best way to teach leadership to me, there's a lot of ways to teach it, but the reality of it is, be the kind of leader you would like to follow. We talk about the golden rule: treat others as you want to be treated.
True.
Well, be the kind of leader you want to follow. It's the same. It's a golden rule of leadership. Be the leader you would follow. You're not going to follow somebody that demands for you what to do. You're going to follow somebody that says, come with me and do this and see what we'll get out of it. If they think that way, and you have to constantly remind, I have to remind myself that. Am I being a leader that I would want to follow right now? If I'm not, then I've got to change my attitude. I think that's important. So in doing that, I thought about, how do I continue to be somebody I'd want to follow? Well, I have to continue to teach how to be a better leader. I have to continue to develop my leadership skills to develop their leadership skills. That's exactly right.
Better players.
That's exactly right. And I've grown as a coach so much in the last 5 and 6 years. 5 years ago, to me, the score on the scoreboard was more important than anything in life. Not that way now. Yes, I want to win, but we've lost close games that I've sat there and said, I'm very proud of the way we played today. And we've won games by a huge amount where I've sat there and said, I don't like the way we played the game. We didn't respect the game the way we played it. We didn't make the game better today.
So you weren't just happy because you won.
Yeah, to me it's very big on how we do it and how we carry ourselves, what we do. Yeah, I'm very big on that.
Well, that's going to lead us right into, you've had 2 very tough weeks of football games.
Yeah.
You've played big teams.
Good teams.
Good, strong, well-coached teams.
Yeah.
Let's go back 2 weeks because we didn't do a show right after you played Tate's Creek.
Tate's Creek game.
What a game.
Yeah, it was wild. First half, I'm trying to remember back.
And we don't have to get into all the details about it.
We were down 27 to, I think, 13 at half, 27-13. Really, 4 turnovers in the first half of the football
Made a
game.
big difference, didn't it?
We haven't done that
all season.
All season. We haven't done that all season.
Yeah.
The turnovers killed us. They have a lot of speed. It is by far, since we've been here, the most athletic all-around team we've played at Southern.
Yes.
They were extremely athletic. 2 years ago, Boyle was good, that we played Boyle at our place. But as far as just being straight athletic, this was the most athletic team we've ever played.
Yeah.
They had speed. Their D-line is fast. Their linebackers are fast. Their safeties can run. Their receivers are ridiculous. I mean, it's a good football team. How they're not ranked in the top 10 in 6A. I mean, their 2 losses have come to Scott County and Belfry. That's it. We knew going in they were going to be really good. I think we were, when I've talked to the team about it, we were a little intimidated. Our kids saw on film, they're pretty good. They're big. Like, they've got some tall kids that can run.
They knew going in.
We didn't feel real comfortable as a team, and I saw that on Friday. Now, lighting delay.
Right.
So you want to talk about that because we kind of mentioned that a little bit,
We
like
can,
why we chose
absolutely.
to do what we chose to do.
Yeah, because I really, I came in here before we started rolling the camera and started asking you about that. Had a big thunderstorm. How does all that work? Most people know it had to be the coach's decisions.
Yeah,
mutual
here's how
decisions.
it works. You can choose to wait it out as long as the coaches choose to. Okay. I know, like Central and Lex Cath played at like 11, didn't they?
Yes, they started their game a little bit after 11.
You have a choice of what you're going to do. I didn't like the way we were playing Friday. So to me,
you wanted to.
Why am I going to sit here until 11 o'clock to do the same thing we've been doing? Kids, it's a mindset thing. Mm-hmm. Let's go home. Let's get out of our clothes.
Yeah.
Let's watch the first half. Let's fix it as staff if there's mistakes. Let's meet with the kids bright and early. We've gotten them up early all summer. And let's try it again.
Yeah. I think I saw your tweet. It was, did you all meet at 7:30? Something like
7:15.
7:15. I saw it. It was
10 o'clock
early.
games kickoff. We met at 7:15.
It was early.
The staff, a lot of us were at the office till about 1:32 in the morning. We loaded the film. We watched it.
That's what I was getting at.
We watched every play. We didn't need to make a lot of adjustments, actually.
You didn't? Okay.
We just needed to execute the things we were doing the right way. And so, and they did the same thing. They made a couple adjustments that were really good. Out of trips, they hadn't thrown over the middle all year. So we were doubling their backside receiver, the Bierman kid, who's really good.
Yeah, and you told us the week before you were going to do
Nate
that.
Eads had an interception on it. First time they threw them in the game.
Yeah.
They've not thrown over the middle. So Saturday, their first 3 pass plays are out of trips. Over the middle. Smart. They watched the film. Good coaching.
Did. Yeah.
So, we made some adjustments too, and I really liked the way we did the second half. We played better on Saturday. You take away the first part of the game, the score Saturday was, 12-0. Now, the first touchdown shouldn't have counted. I've showed you pictures on my phone.
Yeah.
The kid catches the ball. He's out of the back of the end zone. They said that they said it was a catch carry, and that's not a high school rule.
No, I thought it was a college rule.
No, it's not. And it was a long throw. Like, we were in position to stop them there. That was frustrating. They gave them possession they onside the first kickoff. They gave them possession of that ball. It hit us, hit them, went out of bounds. It's our ball. Nobody possessed it. Nobody ever had the football. They said they possessed it and fumbled it out of bounds.
Yeah.
Completely wrong. So that, and then 3 plays later, that touchdown, we're down 6-0 when we were supposed to get the ball. Really took the wind out of our kids' sails.
Yeah, it really did.
But we actually played
totally
significantly
shifted.
better on Saturday. So I was glad we did that.
So it was a good call that you did it.
I think so.
Yeah.
Either way, we didn't win the game.
Right.
Good football team we played.
Yeah. Yes.
But there's a big difference between a 27-13 half of football with 4 turnovers and a 12-0 half of football where we didn't turn the ball over and they got to give me on a touchdown.
Yeah. Because even with the 4 turnovers, you guys were right in it up until the end.
Right. So I felt good about that. I liked the way we did it. Our kids fought. I love our team. Nobody laid down. Nobody said, I don't want to come in. They came in, and we were fired up and ready to play football Saturday.
Yeah.
And we had like 20 faithful fans that showed up, which I thought was great. So that was pretty cool. But, it fit us to do that.
Okay.
So I was fine with the way it happened.
Because all week I've been thinking, I cannot wait to ask him that. Because, I knew that the Central game they decided to stay and play. You guys were in the same city in Lexington. And you guys both made different decisions.
Sure.
So.
And the other thing I worried about was we're going to sit here till 11 o'clock and then go home and have to come back anyway. Right. Looking at the radar didn't look good, and I'm going, I don't want to do that because we'll be
let's
exhausted.
Go ahead and get them home, get them to bed.
Now. Yeah.
And go ahead.
That's
and
exactly
move on.
right.
All right, so you lost that game. You had time to prepare for the next game.
Sure.
And still a big loss, but a very dynamic and big
tight.
team. Big rivalry with Pulaski County.
It is.
Turning the page because the final score was 28-14.
We got to be careful.
You guys were never out of it.
We got to be careful calling it a rivalry because we've played them 7 times in 6 years now, and we're 0-7. So I might need.
I was trying to be nice and not say that.
I need you. Come on, like I don't know that. All right, I need you to come in. You guys have to come in and give the pregame speech next time we play Pulaski because I'm 0-7 on my pregame speeches against Pulaski. I am not pregame speeching well.
I'll do it.
You might have to.
I'll do it. I'll get you get me some caffeine.
You know what's funny?
Maybe you need
they know exactly what we're going to do. We know exactly what they're going to do. We both know how to stop it. And it's the thing I love about it, it comes down to the most important thing with football. The team that runs better, blocks better, and catches better is going to win the game.
And makes bigger plays.
And when we have played them, they have run better, caught better, and tackled better than we do.
Okay, but
that's all it comes down to.
Next year, they're not going to have Jake Johnson.
Well, hopefully we see him again before next year. So
true. That is true. Yes, you're absolutely right. Oh, yeah.
I want to play him every week. We're bound to get him at some point.
Yeah, you know what? And that's what I said, too, when we were talking about this game. I said, I wonder if it was like the World Series, how I think you'd end up taking him after.
Well, they took the opening kickoff back 95 yards, which, my fault. We should never be kicking the ball to number 2 deep.
To steam coming out of your head?
No chance that should happen.
Why did you second guess yourself and go, why didn't I tell Carter not to kick it to number 2?
Yeah, it's not Carter's fault. He was not told to do that. That's all. I'm going to take full responsibility for that. It should have been said, we are not going to kick deep to number 2. I just kind of assumed that it was understood, and I'm doing other things. And
yeah, because you got the whole team.
I can't do that. I've got to take. That's me. I've got to make sure that doesn't happen.
Don't you have a special teams coach as well?
Yeah, but he's doing what he feels best, and he's doing the right looks, and they switched them.
I don't want him mad at me.
No, but here's the other thing they did. They switched the returners on us.
Yes.
Which is good, so like, I think every one of us, none of us expected that would happen. But we didn't say, this can't happen.
Yeah.
And that's coaching. Mm-hmm. If that happens,
you look back on it now and you think, I wish I'd have said, don't kick it.
Next time we play Pulaski, Coach Hines, we're not going to kick it to Jake Johnson. So
I know, because you had a homecoming game, Central had a homecoming game.
People used to kick to Damien, and we're sitting there going,
why are they kicking to Damien?
Why in the world would you kick the ball to Damien?
Well, the coaches are steam coming out of their head. Oh,
when we played Western Hills, the Robinson kid. Yeah. No way we're going to kick the ball to that kid.
Yeah.
That's on me.
Well, I couldn't.
I said it all week that week. We're not going to kick to this kid. We're not going to kick. Told everybody. The whole school knew. I didn't do that this week.
You didn't tell Carter Smith.
Well, no. I didn't tell anybody this week. That's on me.
Right.
That's on me.
Well, I couldn't be at both games at the same time, so I had to go to the Central game. So I watched your game back on our replay.
Yeah.
So and everybody said, "Oh, you just have to watch the first." The opening play, the kickoff.
Well, take that out. It's tied at halftime.
Take that out, and absolutely right.
Tied at halftime.
What a different game.
Yep. And then the second half, our defense played outstanding. We gave up one touchdown in the second half.
Yeah.
And our offense we struggled. Now, there's some reasons we struggled.
All right, let's hear it.
One of our best linemen, our left tackle, Nathan Pruitt, who is a senior that's playing extremely well. Yep, hurt his knee during the game, and that affected us up front.
It did.
We're playing a freshman and a sophomore up front right now. A lot of people don't know that. We have 2 very young guys up front. They're playing well.
So how is he now?
But they're a freshman and sophomore.
I have him in my notes to ask you an update on him.
Still waiting to see what's going to happen. He's going to be out for a couple weeks.
Is it torn ACL? No, it is not.
No, it's not a torn ACL. We just got to see how he heals and how the swelling goes down to really get a feel for how long he may be out or not. So, but that's a big loss for us. I mean, he's our most consistent lineman coming into this, coming out of that game. Like, as far as just consistency, he's the guy. He's been playing really, really, really well. And he's a young man that if I'm a college coach, he's 6'5", he's 240 pounds. You get that kid to 280, he's got a chance to be a special player.
Yeah.
His work ethic, his drive, his motor, I love the kid. I mean, you just hate to see that, especially with such a good kid.
Yeah.
But
you think he'll be back in a couple of weeks?
I don't know.
Possibly.
So, I mean, we're not going to count him out until we know he's not.
Right.
But it may be, it may be a 4-week deal if he's back. We just got to make sure we're still playing. So.
Well, before we get into all your other players, I mean, everybody knows number 2 on their team, Jake Johnson.
He's good.
He's incredible.
He's really good.
I mean, that's the first thing I said to you when we walked in tonight. How darn good is he?
I think back.
He's the real deal.
I think back to the players we've played over the last 6 years. Riley Hall. The quarterback of Pulaski was the real deal.
Yes.
I always felt Riley Hall was extremely underrated. I guess when I think of ratings, I don't think of what fans or writers think. I think of college coaching perspective.
Yes.
Riley Hall, to me, I think he's at Georgetown, which I think he ended up at Georgetown.
You're right.
Which
isn't he shorter than this Johnson kid?
He'll do outstanding at Georgetown, but I thought he was a great quarterback. Jake Johnson is good. Like college teams around Kentucky need to get notice of this kid.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if he's not 6'5".
Yeah.
I don't care if he's not a 4.94 or not a 4.4 40. You know, if you've been doing this long enough, and I've done this for longer, I've still coached longer in the collegiate level than I have at high school. He can play ball. He can play ball. He runs great routes. He finds a way to get open. He takes great angles. He closes angles. He understands how to set up his blocks and his moves. He's got outstanding hands. And then there's something to be said about a kid that just finds a way
to make the
plays.
play.
And that's what he does.
Yes,
that's what he does. I mean, listen, we knew, like, I don't want our fans to think that we, like,
No, you knew he was good.
Number 2 is going to get the ball, and we have to stop him. And we couldn't stop him.
Yeah.
We couldn't stop him. He did some phenomenal things. It's going to be hard for anybody to straight shut him down. And they do a really good job of moving him around, putting him in different places to get the ball in his hands.
Yeah, and you know what? I really think he's a player, and you may disagree with me, but he could play any position.
Absolutely.
Okay.
They run the ball with him. He's in the Wildcat with them some. You know, last year for a while he played quarterback for him. He's a good.
I didn't even know that.
He's a good player.
Yeah, he is.
Like, I would like to have Jake Johnson.
Yeah. You think he'll win the Kentucky, Mr. Football Kentucky?
You know, I don't know.
You'd be surprised if he didn't. As long as he stays healthy.
Here's my thing. I've not seen all the kids across the state, so it's hard for me to sit here. But I know this. This kid has done what he's done for 4 years. And his team has played for 3 state titles and won one since he's been there. If he's not the front runner, what are we giving the award to?
Right.
To me, Mr. Football goes on the most valuable player to his team of any team in the state. If you take Jake Johnson off that team, they're different. If you took Damian Harris off of us a couple years ago, we were different. I wouldn't argue that.
Right.
You know, they're a good team still. Their defense is outstanding.
Yeah.
That kid is the real deal. He's going to get his against anybody. I think against Scott County he had 11 catches. I mean,
yeah.
Good luck. Good luck to Henry Clay stopping him this week.
Speaking of Damian, you know, Alabama plays Kentucky this weekend, so it ought to be fun to watch.
Is that this weekend?
This weekend.
Okay. I don't know. I'm too busy worried about cleaning up stuff from this last week. I haven't thought.
It ought to be, if you're an Alabama fan, it ought to be fun to watch. I mean, so we'll just leave it at that.
I just hope he's healthy.
I do too, and I hope he gets to play.
So
well, I think they're saying he twisted his ankle or something like that. I'm not 100% sure. All right, let's get into your players because really that's more important. Who do you want to start with? We could start with Zeke Benton. Got his first touchdown.
Zeke got his first touchdown.
Yeah.
He's touched the ball quite a bit.
Yeah.
I've got some stats here on the season. I'm going to get on my phone here. I've got some of our season stats.
Pull them up.
Zeke right now has...
He had a 9-yard run touchdown.
He's got 29 carries for close to 200 yards. Yeah. He's young. He's just a sophomore. So he's not somebody we want to touch the ball 50 times a game. But he's doing really well. He's getting better and better. I think everybody sees that he has big play capability about him. He is going to be, him and Austin Hansel, who Austin hasn't even seen much varsity time yet, they're going to be the next 2 in line to really be the backs at Southern. So excited by some of the things Zeke's doing. Zeke's playing well on defense. You know, he's a sophomore. He takes some lumps, and he'll be the first to tell you that. But any team that's playing sophomores right now does that.
Yeah.
You know, your young guys are going to make mistakes. You know, ask Landon Stacy last year if he ever made mistakes as a sophomore. Nate Eads, Carter Smith, they made sophomore mistakes. So he makes his sophomore mistakes. But there's a reason he's on the field. He does some really good things. Yeah. He really does.
Well, let's go right into Landon Stacy. He had that sweet pass to Dez.
What a catch by Dez.
Yeah.
Goes up and gets it in triple coverage. I mean, sometimes you just have to take a shot when you're trying to make something happen.
Yeah, that was right before the end of the first half.
Landon finished the game, I think, 14 for 20 passing for 120 yards and a TD. His overall percentage right now, he's completing over 68% of his passes on the season. He's looking at it, he's like 54 of 80.
I don't know how you can read that.
There. He's thrown for 550. He's thrown 6 touchdowns, 2 picks. One of his picks is on me. I got greedy against Lincoln County and ran a trick play at the half, and that was my fault.
Yeah.
So I took total responsibility for that. But unfortunately, it goes on his stat line, not mine. But he's playing really, really, really well. He's protecting the ball. He's completing it. The thing I love about Landon, we tried to throw the ball. Like, we threw a pass. We were backed up against our own end zone. We're on the 2-yard line. We dropped back to throw. Everybody's worried that we're going to get sacked in the end zone. Landon finds a way. He doesn't throw the ball just wherever. If he doesn't see it, he runs. And I love that about him. His ability to pull it down and get upfield is huge. And he's also our second leading rusher on the team right now. Right now, Landon's got almost 50 carries on the season for around 200 yards. Just having a guy that can run the ball and throw makes a big difference. I just love the way he's playing. He's commanding our offense. Very, very proud of that young man.
Yeah, I mean,
Dak Prescott.
He's a little bit like that. You know, the guy that I compare him to a lot. A couple years ago, Wayne County had a quarterback, the Guthrie kid, that played in the Border Bowl game for Kentucky. I think they played him at fullback a little more, but he's like a fullback quarterback. And that's what Landon is. He's like a fullback quarterback who's got a good arm, throws the ball well, makes good decisions, but can get you the hard 5 to 10 yards.
Yeah.
And occasionally he'll get you 30.
All right, let's talk about Hunter Richardson.
Hunter's playing better. He's catching the ball. I think he's our second leading receiver in receptions right now.
He had 3 catches the other night for 23 yards.
He's actually leading the team. He's got 13 catches for 130 yards. He's leading us in receptions. Dez is second with 11. Nate Eads is third with 10. Hunter's a big target. You know, he's a 190-pound, 6'1" receiver. So he's got great hands. Just finding the way to get the ball to those guys on the edge more. You know, when's the last time you saw us throw 20 times in a game? We threw more Friday than we have consistently, but that's the way they were playing us. We were having trouble running the ball. A lot of guys in the box. We got to throw it better.
Yeah.
So and those guys are catching the ball and making plays.
All right, you've already mentioned him, but let's talk about Nate Eads. He had 4 catches for 24 yards the other night.
Absolutely, and you know, Nate, such a good football player.
He's a smart player.
He's a smart player. He's a good player. You know, there's a reason Nate's been playing since he's been a freshman. The frustrating thing, and Nate's frustrated about this too, Nate cramps really easily. He's extremely muscle dense.
Yes, because they had to stop the game for him the other night.
And that, I don't know if you guys have picked up on that, but that's been pretty consistent. When it's hot out, Nate has a hard time playing a whole game. And as it cools off, you'll see Nate on the field way more. And it's so frustrating because you have this good running back and this good receiver out of the back. Like, he's a good player that, you know, Nate only has, you know, like on the year right now, Nate's got 15 carries. He's only got 15 carries. He's got 2 touchdowns out of that. You know, Nate needs to have 40 carries right now, but the problem is when it's hot, he's got a heat intolerance to where he sweats quite a bit and where he's so low body fat.
Yes, yes.
I mean, his hydration process, you guys, starts on Monday for a Friday game.
Really?
People have no idea what this young man does throughout the week to try. Like, I'm talking over a gallon a day.
Water.
We're talking potassium, zinc, anything he needs to do to get his levels at the premium place. We don't, during warm-ups, Nate doesn't warm up with the team anymore. He stands out there with the coaches, and we keep cool towels on him.
It's incredible.
And he does all this. He's ended up on IVs after games.
Wow.
Garrett County, he ended up in the emergency room on IVs. You know, normally I wouldn't talk about things like that, but I say that because this is a passionate kid about the game. He's got some adversity in him. I've never coached a kid that cramps like this in my life.
Yeah.
And it's not a deal where, like, you know, you watch that and you're like, well, if that kid would eat right or if he'd hydrate. He does. Like a nutritionist couldn't put him on a better plan to get ready from Monday to Friday. And if it's cool out, he'll play the whole game. Against Bourbon, played the whole game. It was a lot cooler. Where it was hot for a couple days, it just drains his body from his nutrients.
Right. So in 2 weeks against Montgomery County.
You know, yeah. I mean, like, when it's
weather
cool,
will be better.
Nate Eads is going to be on both sides of the ball the entire football game. And boy, is he chomping at the bit to do that. It's hard to watch a kid like that because this game means so much to him. He's so passionate about it. And to know when he starts to cramp one time, he's got to come out because from there on he'll end up. He's ended up in full body cramps in the emergency room. Some kids you could rub them out and send them back out there.
Yeah.
He's not that way. So the minute that first cramp starts, I have to take his helmet because he'll go right back in the game.
Yeah. It was in the second half.
And we're better with him in the game. We're better with him in the game.
Of course.
So it's frustrating knowing that that's probably going to happen at some point. But as it's cooling off, and I think it's something, I hope for his sake, it's something he grows out of as he gets older. You know, I've seen things like that, you know, as their bodies are changing, as they're going through puberty. You know, hopefully it's something that he grows out of. But I hate it for the kid. I mean, it like breaks my heart that he's.
Well, his body will change too.
That's exactly right. So hopefully this is something that gets better. But he'll continue. Like, if I'm watching us, I'm wondering why is Nate Eads not on the field all the time, and that's why. That's the situation with him.
All right, how about Levi Howard?
Levi has started to play more and more. Levi's a young man that has just, when we play JV games, he shows up, he works hard, he's doing good things on the field on JV. And that's leading to putting him on the field more in varsity. Runs the ball hard. I love the way he runs the ball. He's downhill, he's fast, he's physical, and he's extremely coachable. He gives us every ounce of what he has to give us. And I really love that about that kid.
All right, we can't not have a conversation and not bring up AJ Richardson.
AJ, yeah. AJ's playing really
Every
well.
week.
AJ, you know, he's so good in the secondary. We've got to get AJ the ball more on offense. You know, it's easy, like, when you're spreading the ball around on offense, some guys can kind of disappear or come out of the fold. Like Zeke's getting more carries. AJ needs to have the ball in his hands. We've got to get big plays out of AJ again, and that's something we're really focusing on doing because he is a big play machine. We just have to get to that again.
All right, so my stats show that you guys finished with 176 total yards, 92 passing, 84 running.
No, we had 120 passing, and we rushed for 78, I think, or 87. But, I mean, I couldn't tell you if we've ever had a game since we've been at Southern where we've passed for more than we've ran for.
Yeah.
We got to be better in the run game.
Yeah.
Period. Our defense is playing well. Special teams and our run game have to improve.
Yeah.
No exceptions. If we're beating the teams we're supposed to beat now, if we're going to beat good football teams, we've got to run the ball consistently with this pass game. We've got to tackle in space, and we've got to play sound on special teams and not turn the ball over.
I was getting ready to say and not turn it over.
Yeah, we don't turn it over against
fumble.
the teams we're supposed to beat.
Yeah.
Or, you know, like I feel like
you had that going on the first 4 games.
We're consistently over the years now. We're consistently beating an average to above average team. When we get against the really good teams, we've only won a couple of those games over the last 6 years. That number's got to go up now. We've got to get over the hump.
Yeah.
And the only way we're going to do that is we got to play harder and less
play
mistakes.
more difficult teams too.
And we're doing that.
Which you do. And
yeah, we're doing that.
Yeah.
Next year, our schedule is brutal. I mean, I scheduled a very, very tough schedule the next 2 years, but I did that on purpose.
Well, because you know your team won't be as young.
We have to play more competition on a weekly basis if we're I don't care what our regular season record is. I know that may bother some people, but I really don't care. Last year we were 5-6 and won the district. And it was 14-7 with a good Cove Catholic team going into the fourth quarter. I don't care if we're 4 wins during the regular season if we win the region. Highlands does that. Cove Catholic does that. They schedule really, really tough teams knowing that this is going to make us better down the road.
Right.
I believe in that philosophy, okay? A lot of people don't. I don't care.
Because they want the number.
I don't. What good is
that
going
number?
10-0 and losing in the first round of playoffs?
It's over.
I don't want to do that. I have no interest in doing that because you can't flip on the film and honestly look at it and think it feels good to be 10-0 if we're not good enough to make a run.
Right.
I can't. I don't operate that way.
Would you start that process in 2 weeks against Montgomery County, first district game?
Yeah, first district game. Big target on our back. What a fun place to be in. Southern's never been the defending district champs.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. We love it. We have a big target on us, and we welcome it.
Yeah.
Love the target. We just have to play well. We have to play consistently, and we have to do this through district play. You know, we'll have Montgomery's a physical team. They run the ball very similar to Garrett County. So we're going to have to line up and play smash mouth football against them. Woodford's going to spread it all over the field and chuck it everywhere. Anderson spreads it, throws it, lines up, and pounds you. They're a little more like us. They'll do a little bit of both, which, you know, Coach Peach does a great job there. He's consistently had Anderson a eastern side of 5A. You know, that's a consistent team. You know, they've played for some semi-states. You know, in 2013, Pulaski beat them in the semi-state game. So that's a good program. So we've got to get better and better and play consistently. 2 of those games are on the road. You know, so we're away 2 of the 3 this year. And then we'll come home against Central, which, you know, I don't care what your records are, all that goes out the window. You got to win that rivalry game.
Yes.
So
people are already talking about that game too.
What are they saying? Come on. What are they saying up
Never
the road?
on camera.
What are they saying up the road?
No, actually, truly, what they're saying, it's going to be a really good game.
Good.
That this may be the first year that it's going to be really not one-sided either way.
Well, it wasn't one-sided last year. It was
no, it wasn't.
A slugfest.
But you know, people always have their favorites because they're alma maters or whatever.
You know what? You know what I love? Here's what I love. I love that Southern Central, people know it's going to be a good game.
Yeah, it's going to be, come
that.
to the game. It's going to be,
I love that.
you're going to get your money's
And
worth.
I love the way Coach Centers and I approach it. You know, he's the same as me. As long as I'm here, we're going to play each other. And there's going to be years where one team may be down and one team may be up, but it is a competitive game every year right now, and I love that. Like that's how it should be.
It really
and it
should.
is a clean rivalry. We've talked about that
Yes,
over and over
we
and
have
over.
talked about
There's
it.
a lot of respect between the teams, and I like that. Our guys don't talk
But
smack.
these guys have
It's
grown
not
up
like
together.
that. Yeah,
I mean,
it's
they've
good.
all played, some of them played middle school ball
It's good.
together.
Now next year that rivalry game moves up to the beginning of the season. I know you guys know that. I don't know if you knew that next year.
I knew that.
We're going to do some things different next year, actually. We're going to play in the Roy Kidd Bowl
Yes.
the next 2 years.
But you're not playing Central.
No. We'll play Collins in 17 and Lex Catholic in 18, I think it is. And then they switch. And then they're playing in our bowl game, the Doc Sipple Memorial Bowl that we've talked
Yes.
a little bit about. We're going to play Bourbon. They're going to play Southwestern.
Yeah.
And then the next week after that, we play each other.
Okay.
So we're going to see each other 3 out of the first 4 weeks of the year, either at the same place or by playing each other.
I really kind of like it at the end, though, when you guys play each other.
Hey,
at the end of the
get on the
season.
school board and take it up with everybody.
I don't think school board members have anything to do with scheduling girls' football
You don't
games.
think so, but has anybody on the school board tried to do that? You got to think outside the box. Right?
No, and I don't think they would allow
There's a
me
lot
to
of
do
things
that
the school
either.
board does and doesn't do, but has anybody said a school board member can't say, hey, I think this game is a
I
big
really
thing for the
think
county?
this game
Here's what I
should be
know.
at the end of the season.
Here's what I know. What's a bigger thing that goes on between these schools and the county than the Southern Central football game right now?
That's true.
Nothing.
It's huge. So is that something that if somebody felt it needed to be addressed by the school board, I hope they would, because you're talking about
You're cracking
You're
me
talking
up.
about a lot of people, though. It affects, I mean,
That's
you're
true.
talking 10, 15,000 people have been showing up at this game. That affects the school system.
It really
That's
does.
a huge
it
game.
affects your economy and your
Exactly.
money.
And
It would be fun,
the
maybe. if
brand
you-
of Madison County schools
yeah.
is in that game. That's
Yeah.
an important rivalry.
I just don't get why you moved it up. That's my question.
I didn't move it up.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't move it up.
Okay. I'll just
It's a lot of fun, no matter when you play.
That is true.
It's possible.
My opinion
It's
is
possible
better at
that it
the
was
end of the season.
recommended to him and I that it be moved up. And you have bosses.
Yes.
Sometimes when
So,
things get recommended,
sometimes what you do it.
Hey,
I have a lot of bosses.
I've taught my players very little, maybe, but one of the things you learn is sometimes you have to do things you don't like. I didn't want to move it either. I like it the last week.
Okay. That's the one thing I appreciate you doing this show. You were so honest on this show. You don't ever want to say you're getting anybody in trouble, but you're honest
No,
and you're
I mean,
politically correct. And
I
mean,
understand why they moved
Right,
it up. You know
you
why
get
they
it?
moved it up?
Right.
Because of
Right.
UK basketball.
Yeah. Yeah.
People weren't coming to the games because they were going to Midnight Madness and other stuff like that. I totally understand
Yeah.
it.
So let's just move it up.
Totally understand it. There'll be more people at the game probably now.
Right.
From a fan standpoint, early in the season,
Yeah.
everybody's going to be there.
And that's more money for both teams. So I get it. But I think.
I get why they did it.
But for competition between the two teams, you guys both get better at the end of the season. So for me, a better football game would be
but
better.
then you have some coaches, some of the coaches on our staffs don't like that we played at the end of the game because they worry about it's right before playoffs.
Right.
Oh,
Guys can get
yeah.
injured. And the other thing they worry about is
Yeah.
if you lose one of your better players.
Yeah.
Nathan Pruitt, if we'd played early in the year, would have played Central. He may not now.
Yeah.
So I see both
Both
sides of
sides.
it.
Yeah.
So does it make sense for them to make the decision to move the game up? Yes,
Yes,
it does.
it does.
Do I like it? No, because I think, to me, I've grown up my whole life with rivalry week, just
At the
like in
end.
college, my high school is at the end of the season. But I understand why they did it.
Yeah.
So you got to pick and choose your battles, and to me, because
Yeah,
I
it's not
understand
worth
it,
fighting
no,
over.
it's not that big of a deal because I get why it's going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. And when it's at your. on your turf, you're going to make more money. So that's good for the program.
Yeah, it's good for, I mean, either school's going to.
Right,
so.
right, true.
And I'm glad that we're playing each other's bowls. I think it should be that way,
Yeah.
we're not, listen, this is Madison County, I've always thought could be one of the best counties in the state for football. We got a lot of work to do in our youth league still.
Yeah.
A lot. It's not on the same page. It should be on the same page from there to here. Kids are going to go where they have to go. Richmond kids are going to go to Central. The kids south of Richmond are going to go here. If there's another high school up north like there's rumors going to be, they're going to go there. Nobody's stealing players from each other. Nobody's they're not taking our kids. We're not taking their kids. So the goal needs to be to make both our teams better.
Good.
We're not even in the same class. We don't play in the playoffs.
Right.
They have 700 more kids than we do. So I want them to compete in 6A.
Right.
I do. And if that's going to happen, our youth leagues have to improve.
True.
And we've got to do it together as a whole county, and it's been a frustrating thing for me. We could be so much better in the long run if we would do that together. It's been hard to get that done.
So we've talked about that in the past. We'll talk about that in another show because that could be a whole show.
But we're sitting here at year 6 of our program right now, and we've come a long way in 6 years, and we'll probably move a long way in 4. But I really if there's one thing that I'm concerned about, like you kind of set goals for where you want your program to be. The 10-year mark, I really wanted to have established a good youth league foundation, and we're nowhere near that yet. And I don't just mean for Southern. I mean for Madison County. And right now it's not here. There's too many individual agendas. There's too many people that want to have all the players on one team or want to do it their way so they can show everybody how good of a coach they are. There's no
That's funny because when you say that, I automatically smile because I know who you're talking about. I mean, it happens. It's a reality.
There's no consistency for improving the sport. Our freshmen played Scott County. And, I mean, say what you want. I mean, Coach McKee, I love what he's done. Now, he's in like year 18 of his program.
Right.
And I have talked to him hours on the phone about the process.
Yes.
Because
how did he do it? How did he start the process of getting them?
The first 8 years, it was beating his head against the wall like I am.
Okay.
And when you finally get to the point where the kids that played for you are starting to have kids and getting involved in coaching, then they start to, because the kids that play for me know what we're trying to do.
Right.
They know that all we care about in the youth league, in the middle schools, can they run, can they block, can they tackle? They learn the terminology.
Yeah.
Terminology is like a whole other language.
And they got to have fun.
It's like you can't learn Spanish all through middle school and then come to high school and be expected to speak English. You're going to have to learn English. Well, it's like learning Spanish. The terminology has got to be the same. I call it fundamentals.
Yeah.
It should be fun.
Right. And that's what I said.
And fundamentals.
Because if it's not fun when they're little, they're not going to keep playing.
And I know there's 1 million people that are going to watch this show, or maybe 40. All right, 40 people. I don't know.
Maybe 400.
40,000.
But I get it. Like
you're fans.
Like I'm as competitive as anybody, and I know there's dads going, "Oh, everybody gets a trophy." It doesn't matter. What do you mean it doesn't matter who wins? It matters. No, it doesn't at that age.
Yeah, at that age it doesn't.
What matters is that they learn to run, block, and tackle. But here's the kicker. You teach them to run, you teach them to block, you teach them to tackle, and you do it in a positive manner, they're having fun. Guess what they're going to do? They're going to win. We're proof of that. We're having fun. We're running,
and it stays with them. It stays with them. And then you have a whole team of that.
I mean, by no means are we perfect. But the most common conversation I have with people in our community about football, the most common conversation is, I don't understand what the hang-up is with the youth league transition because you guys are winning games. Like, obviously you're doing something right. Why isn't this easier? And I don't know why it's not easier, I'll be honest. I could be the problem. I don't know. Believe it or not, when you're a head football coach, you have some people out there that don't care for you, okay? And I'm the first one to acknowledge that. That'll happen to you when you get elected to the school board. So
I've never mentioned that on any of my shows, so I appreciate you say that. I try to keep it separate.
No matter what you do, your intent. I know why you want to be on the school board, because you care about the kids and you want to make it about the kids and you want to help the process for the education of the kids in school. I get that.
Yeah. That's why I do this.
Yeah, exactly.
I love this because I love sports, but we're promoting these kids. And
Absolutely.
if there's a coach that can come back and watch this and get one of your kids a scholarship.
So you're not doing this to try to end up on ESPN one day?
No.
Oh,
I think I'm a little too old for that.
But that's my point is you're going to have people. When you get elected to the school board, there's going to be people that sit there and say, she cares about her own agenda. She doesn't, even though that's not what your heart is.
Right.
And I know you and I know that's not your heart.
Right.
You know me. You know my heart in the youth league is for the right reasons.
For the right reasons.
And just like with our kids, but a lot of people don't know. When your kids that you've coached that have been through your program that know what you guys
Well,
are
'cause
really
they assume
about
things.
when they go on and they have their own kids and they start
Right.
taking over stuff.
And they'll come back, coach their own
Yeah,
kids.
and they'll want to coach because
Yeah.
they know what we're trying to do and they
Yeah.
were a part of it and they know what
Teach
our
them the right
purpose
way.
is.
Not that the other coaches are teaching the
And
wrong
I'm not
way.
saying
it's just,
no, you know what? I guarantee if you go to the youth league at Richmond and you go to the youth league that they're running down here at Berea now, I guarantee you can find a coach or two that knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
I'm sure of that.
Yeah.
The problem is it's not all on the same page.
right.
Why don't we get the
Right.
good stuff on the same page? You know, it's like I tell my line every play. I don't care if if we block the play wrong. If we all five do the same thing, if we're on the wrong page, we have a chance if we're all on the same page. If we're on a different page,
It's not
we don't
going
have
to
a
go
chance.
well. Right.
5 guys together. That's my big rule with my linemen is if you screw it up as a group, not as a guy on the wrong page.
Makes good sense.
It's everything.
It's
so
true.
we've got to get all these good guys. I mean, I'm not knocking the people working with the youth league. It's just I don't know how to organize everything the right way. I can't get it.
Well, and there's only one of you. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
You have to
It's
focus
hard.
on Madison Southern.
It's hard.
You really can't be focusing on every youth program that's out there.
But I pray that
You
will
want
change.
to.
My hope is that we can get the youth league.
Maybe you start doing more clinics in the
right.
summer.
Nobody shows up. I've tried it.
Really?
Yeah.
I would think that would be a good fundraiser.
I
for
go
you
over to
guys.
Europe
You
and run a
think?
clinic, and I get like 50 coaches and 200 kids. But here I get one coach and
Well, maybe you picked a bad week.
30 kids. There's no good week. Everybody plays
Oh.
baseball and basketball every single weekend.
That's
When you going to do
true.
it? There's
That's
no good
true.
week. It's got to become a priority. They shut down their league over there for a week to progress, and their progression has done this.
Yeah, see, our kids
But it's a
play a lot of
priority
different
to 'em.
sports.
It's a
They go
priority.
into soccer, spring soccer. They go into
I know.
t-ball, baseball.
So it's not that we're not open to it. We
All
try to
right.
do it all the time.
Yeah.
It's just there's a million reasons somebody can't be there.
Yeah.
You know, and there's no good time. It's hard. But if we want to really improve south and north end of the county, it's got to become a priority because I really think we could.
Yeah.
I really do.
That was good.
It's the thing I get most fired up about.
You do,
know
and
that.
I
just-
appreciate that. And I respect the fact that this is a wonderful way to hopefully we can get the word out through this show that maybe someone can help you and start up
It's got to be no agenda. It's got to be let's sit down and decide what's the best year in, year out, regardless. I don't have a kid involved.
Yeah.
I just want to stay the course with what's right.
Right.
And no matter how long it takes, I'm not going to do it for a year. And when my kid moves on, move on. I'm going to
Yeah, because
do
that
it
typically
right.
sometimes that's what happens.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean,
Yeah. I get it. I do.
I do too. You know, I joke with my wife sometimes that I'm going to get to the point where this program's stable and I'm going to retire and I'm going to take over a youth league and just run.
I could totally
with
see
no
you doing
pay.
it
I would
because
love
you
it.
are passionate
I would
about
love it, but you've got to be willing to give up your time. You've got to know that you're not going to get paid. The reward comes in the progress.
Right.
And the kids. Like,
And they'll see it here at Southern
and to
or
me,
at
when
Central
it doubles from
later.
year 1 to year 2, that's when you're doing it right.
Right.
Who cares what the record is? Nobody remembers the record of the Berea Bulldogs in 2002. And if they do, they haven't moved on from there.
Yeah, they're living vicariously
you-
through their son.
You have to have a bigger picture in mind.
True. True.
And it's not. I'm not saying it's just here. It's not bad. It could be better.
All right.
But we could be better too. I mean, a lot of things can be better.
I am going to progress and say congratulations. You guys had homecoming, so you got a homecoming king, homecoming queen. It was pretty exciting. And you had 2 of your football players on the court, so
Absolutely.
that was really cool.
We usually do.
Yeah, and you know, I respect that you allow your players after they've come out of the locker room to go out there and meet
Yeah, I'll
with
be
their
honest.
families.
It's like really difficult because it's a lot of distractions, and I hate
know,
it. And,
it is,
And I know
but-
I know so many programs that say the players can't be involved in it. And I don't ever want to do that, but we've got to find a way to limit. Like Tate's Creek, we have a couple kids that go do interviews for that, and they miss practice, and it shows on Friday.
Yeah.
We got to find a better way.
It is about the football game,
I'm
but
all for. I think the interview process is good for them. I think it's great.
Yeah.
And we have some good kids that need to be showcased that they're good kids. I think it's a good thing.
Well-
but we've got to find a way to have it not be one or the other. There's got to be a way where it can work better.
maybe you need to get with the person that's responsible
that's-
for that
yeah.
and say, let the football players come and do the
And,
interview last.
You know, and here's what we're going to have to do. Just like, we just talked about the youth league. We're talking about homecoming. I've got to do a better job of going to the powers that be this
Yeah.
winter and saying, how do we set this up that it doesn't hurt all 60 of my players when 4 have to leave.
Yeah.
Because everybody works all
And
year,
it's
and
seniors.
that affects. Yeah.
It's seniors. It's not a freshman leaving.
Yeah,
It's
so
your seniors.
you're talking starters. You're talking, and chances
Yeah.
are, I mean, if you're interviewing at homecoming, there's a reason.
Yeah.
So you're absolutely one of our leaders, our better players. Like, we've got to find a better way.
Yeah. Well, and
I'm
they
all
do it.
for it.
I
I'm
have
all
been a
for
judge, so they have done it. They interview them individually.
Right.
So there's no reason why your football
If we
players
could find a
can't
way
come
to
last.
set up our interviews different, and like maybe they don't go out at halftime unless we know they're going to win, because that halftime adjustments are huge.
Yeah.
You know, like I was trying to grab.
But you had them come in the locker room, right? And then come out?
No, they were out there.
Oh, okay. They stayed out the whole time.
They were out. I was like trying to make some adjustments with Justice as I'm like standing there like getting ready to kick off. Right.
Yeah.
And that affects a game. I mean, it does.
Yeah.
It's not his fault. I mean, it just, and I like homecoming. Don't get me wrong. I'm not against homecoming.
Yeah, we don't want to think.
I'm going to let my players participate. We just have to find a way
Their
for it to
mamas
be less
appreciate that.
involved. Like less distracting, I guess.
Yeah. But you also want to come away with the win. I mean, that's the goal of the whole
Well, yeah,
evening.
we work all year
Yeah.
to win that game.
I see both sides.
We work all year to win. But here's the thing. When you're on a team, things like that affect the whole team, not just you. And that's where we get back to this generation is a little different. You know, we finally got these kids realizing it's not all just about me. This is a very much a me generation.
It is.
We live in a me world now.
We're in our second generation of me's.
We live in a me world now. Well, I'm going to get mine. That's the world we live in, okay? So we're trying to get them to realize things work really well when it's not all just about you. And those kids weren't me kids. I'm not saying, I don't want to come across that way. I'm not saying that. I just, when we look at it the way we look at it, we all look at it as this is a team. Mm-hmm. It's not fair to pull those guys out and affect the whole team on a day of practice or
just because you're going for an interview or a picture.
And they deserve it. Yeah. They deserve to do that. Mm-hmm. I don't want to take anything away from them.
They're being recognized by their
great
peers.
Kids. Yeah. We have to find a way to reward them for what they're doing, for them to still be those great kids that get a chance to do that, but have a less of an impact on the team.
Right.
We have to find out. And I think that can be done.
There's a balance.
I think that can be done.
Nice balance.
I do think that can be done.
What else do we need to talk about? You have bye week this week.
We played a JV or a freshman sophomore joint game against Dunbar on Monday. We've had some injuries. Okay. We talked about this before. We beat Lexington Catholic. We talked about the Lexington Catholic JV freshman doubleheader. We had a couple weeks ago.
We're both going. I don't remember
if we did, but JV won pretty big. We've had some injuries since then, so we didn't have enough. We've had 2 injuries to running backs that have really depleted our backfield with freshmen. Some freak breaks. So what's happened is we didn't have enough to play a freshman game by itself, and we had some injuries to JV that we were going to be really thin on JV. So we just decided let's just play a freshman-sophomore joint game so we have more bodies and it can be a better, you know. I don't like to take a kid that's never played a position and say you have to go play that today. Right. He's not going to have any success.
No.
It's not going to help him in the long run.
Right.
If there's a sophomore that can do that needs the reps, well, I want to do that. Well, then it's only right to tell the coach we're playing some sophomores. Right. So I just called him and said let's just do a total joint freshman-sophomore game. We played pretty well. We lost 28-24. We were up 24-22 with like a minute and a half left. And then they scored on a 4th and 11, but we got better as the game went on. We left the ball on the 2-yard line twice.
Oh.
We fumbled inside the I don't like to see. But we're getting better. The young players are getting better.
That's good. That's what it's supposed to happen. Yeah. That's why you play those games.
They're getting better.
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
have to play those games. Those games are so important.
Yes.
Even if we have to join them, we have to do it. It's the first year we've had to do that. You know, we've been able to play JV and freshmen, but we just had some crazy injuries.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping by the end of the year we can get back to JV and freshmen separate.
Yeah.
But we're going to have to get some kids back, and I don't know if that's going to happen or not.
So since you have a bye week this week, your next game will be on
Monday.
Okay, that was my question. Have you moved it?
No, we have a game Monday, freshman JV. I don't know if...
this Monday?
This coming Monday.
Okay.
I don't know if we're probably not going to have enough to play freshman and JV Monday. We're probably going to have to do a joint freshman-sophomore game again. I haven't made that call yet because I'm waiting to see by Friday where we are health-wise.
Okay.
But we'll know. We'll make that call by Friday, and then that next week we play Montgomery. Mm-hmm. And then we have fall break. Montgomery's on. That
was my question. Mm-hmm. So your game will be during fall break.
Absolutely.
So you're not moving it. Okay.
No, we do this every year. We'll play on Friday or fall break. I don't like to change the schedule. I like to keep us on the same routine.
Yeah.
And these kids work too hard to year-round to get what they want as their goals, to go changing games from – because Central, didn't they have to move theirs to like Thursday?
Yes, theirs is moved to Thursday night.
And then yours is Friday night.
That's brutal they have to do that. It changes so many things. So do you practice on Sunday now?
Yeah.
You're right.
I'm wondering, I'm going to text Coach Centers and say, are you practicing on Sunday now? Because that stinks if you have to do that. If not, you lose a day of practice.
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
And they have a soccer game right before it, so I think they're talking about doing a doubleheader. So.
What?
Yeah.
Yep, soccer and then.
Right before on their field? What if the soccer game runs long?
Well, the soccer game's not going to, or football game's not starting till 7:45, so they push it back 15 minutes.
Warms up for about an hour.
Yeah.
So soccer going to be over by 6:45?
You're asking me. I don't know.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, I'm gonna text Coach Sanders.
we got.
Just roll with it.
Oh wow!
We'll just be there for both.
I'm gonna have to call Coach.
Well,
Sanders
we do the soccer game.
We may.
There you go. Put him on.
Is it at Central?
Yes.
Did they have to move it for? Who do they play?
Tate's Creek.
Tate's Creek. Yes.
Did they? Why'd they move to Thursday?
Because it's fall break. Both teams have fall break, so they moved it.
There's a scheduling conflict with the field, I think, but I'm not sure.
Okay. So. I don't know. I mean,
Coach Center said on the show last night that it's fall break for both teams. The athletic directors communicated.
Was he excited
talked
about
to
it?
the coaches. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, NFL, man, Thursday night football.
You would think that you're losing a day of practice. So
only game in the state Thursday night, maybe.
Well, I'm going. I'm gonna go watch the game.
Yeah.
I like that.
So you'll have practice and then you'll go.
I'm glad he's playing Thursday. I can go watch him play.
You're cracking
I'll
me.
be in the stands.
See, what did I say a minute ago? He's always honest. Absolutely, always honest. That's what we love about you.
That'd be hard for us.
Yeah.
Thursday change a lot on the schedule. My staff, we're routine guys.
They've been talking about it for weeks.
So they knew this was coming.
Yeah, we knew.
So it wasn't like all of a sudden.
No. We knew about it a few weeks ago.
I got you. Well, that would make it easier.
It just was confirmed.
Okay.
So.
No, we're playing on Friday.
All right, that's why I was asking.
I'm so like this. I didn't even know it was fall break till like a couple days ago.
Yeah, obviously you don't get a fall break, do you?
No, and I didn't even process it. And somebody's like, "When's practice gonna be next Thursday?" I'm like, "What do you mean, 3 o'clock right after school?" They're like, "We don't have school." I'm like, "Well, it's still gonna be 3 o'clock after school because that's what we do, and I don't know what else we would do."
Right.
So I don't know.
Go get some pumpkins.
Yeah.
In the afternoon, but just be here for practice at 3. All right, Coach. I think we've hit everything.
Okay.
I always give you guys the last word.
Crowds have been awesome.
You always have the best crowds.
Don't give up on us. We're improving. We are going to get better.
Come even during fall break.
This team will not quit. They know what they need to fix. We know we're this close. I really like. I say this all the time. I love this team. I'm excited about this team. I'm excited to defend the district championship, and these guys are going. This is what I know. This team will give us everything they have to give.
I believe that
from here
too.
on out. And we're not like it's like we're on bye week this week. We get Monday off, and then practice last night, practice tonight, practice tomorrow, and the energy's great. They're fired up. What do I need to fix? Give me something, coach. What's one thing I need to improve before next week? They are dialed in. I love that.
We love it too.
It's exciting.
We love football. We're excited. We're not even thinking about Big Blue Madness, so.
Yeah.
No, we're still in football. We're not in the tents like all those other people.
No.
There's probably a few. I'm sure there is. They're lined up. All right, Coach. Listen, on behalf of Cumberland Valley National Bank, we want to thank Kathy Broadus because she sits in the other room patiently waiting for us to finish.
If you don't have a good bank, check this place out.
Cha-ching!
As in write
Absolutely.
That's my bank joke.
I got it. I kept going with it, though. Yeah, we do want to thank her because she sits in the other room and listening to us. And she works late and lets us, because, they didn't give us the key to the bank to come on in and out whenever we want. So we really appreciate them being our sponsor and all of our sponsors. And if you want to be a sponsor of Coach Clark Show, dial us up. Let them know. Call me. Anybody.
Come out and sponsor.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right. Thank you for watching. Coach, good luck.
Thank you. We'll see you guys in a week.
All right. Thanks for watching.
Thanks to our great sponsors, Jack Burford Chevrolet, ExpressRoofing.net, Cumberland Valley National Bank, Sept, State Farm Insurance, Jerry Goble Agent, Luxury Pet Services, Equipment, Sales and Rentals, May Marketing, KYmedia.net, Real Life Community Church, Time Warner Cable, and Madison County Schools.